Hello and welcome to the English for Life podcast. I'm Charlotte Kingsley, and today we're going to explore a fascinating and transformative topic: how to trick your brain into loving English practice. If you've ever struggled with staying motivated or found yourself procrastinating when it comes to learning English, this episode is designed exactly for you. We'll dive deep into how your brain works, why motivation fades, and most importantly, how you can use psychological tricks and practical techniques to create a strong, lasting love for practicing English. First, it's essential to understand that motivation isn't just about willpower or discipline. It's deeply rooted in how your brain's reward system functions. When you practice English and experience something pleasurable or rewarding, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical responsible for feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. This dopamine release creates a positive feedback loop that encourages you to repeat the activity. So, the key is to make English practice feel rewarding and enjoyable, even in small ways. For example, you could reward yourself with a favorite snack, a quick walk, or a few minutes of your favorite hobby immediately after practicing. This reward association strengthens your motivation and makes the habit stick. Another powerful trick is to change how you perceive practice itself. Instead of viewing it as a chore or obligation, try to see English practice as a game or a challenge you want to conquer. Your brain loves novelty and challenge because they stimulate curiosity and excitement. Incorporate gamified elements such as tracking your progress with a streak counter, competing with friends, or setting mini challenges for yourself like learn 5 new phrases today or hold a 2-minute conversation in English. These tactics tap into your brain's natural desire for achievement and novelty, making the learning process more engaging and fun. Now, let's talk about environmental cues and habit formation. Our brains are wired to associate certain triggers with behaviors. If you create a consistent environment or routine around your English practice, your brain will automatically start to prepare itself when it encounters those cues. For example, always studying in the same spot, at the same time of day, or with the same playlist on creates a mental association. Over time, this turns into an automatic habit that doesn't require much conscious effort. The more automatic your practice becomes, the less likely you are to procrastinate or skip it. One more psychological insight comes from the concept of chunking. The brain prefers smaller, manageable chunks of information over large, overwhelming tasks. If you try to study for hours in one go, your brain gets tired, distracted, and less efficient. Instead, break your English practice into bite-sized pieces, maybe 10 to 15-minute sessions spread throughout the day. This not only makes learning easier and less intimidating but also leverages the brain's natural capacity to retain information better when it's spaced out, a concept known as spaced repetition. Another effective brain hack is to use visualization and mental rehearsal before or during your practice. Imagine yourself speaking English fluently in real situations, ordering at a restaurant, having a casual chat, or giving a presentation. Your brain processes these mental images almost like real experiences, strengthening neural pathways and boosting your confidence. Visualization reduces anxiety and freezing moments because you've mentally prepared for those conversations in advance. It's also important to address the inner dialogue and mindset you have about English learning. Negative beliefs like "I'm not good at languages" or "I'll never be fluent" create mental roadblocks. Your brain pays attention to these internal messages and they affect your motivation and performance. The trick here is to practice positive self-talk and affirmations consistently. Remind yourself daily that every bit of practice is progress and that mistakes are a natural and essential part of learning. To make the process even more enjoyable, incorporate your passions and interests into your practice. If you love music, learn English through your favorite songs. If you're a movie buff, watch films with English subtitles. If you enjoy gaming, play English language games or interact with English speakers online. This way, practicing English feels less like a task and more like a hobby, which naturally increases motivation and retention. And here's a crucial tip from neuroscience. Your brain thrives on social interaction and connection. Try to practice speaking with real people as much as possible, even if it's online or through language exchange apps. Social interaction releases oxytocin, a hormone linked to bonding and trust, which makes learning feel safer and more rewarding. Plus, the immediate feedback you get helps your brain adapt and improve faster. Lastly, remember that patience and consistency trump intensity. Your brain needs time to form new neural connections and habits. Trying to force yourself into long, intense sessions without breaks or rest can lead to burnout and loss of motivation. Instead, aim for steady, daily practice that feels manageable and rewarding. By understanding these psychological principles and applying practical strategies, you can effectively trick your brain into loving English practice, transforming it from a dreaded chore into an enjoyable, motivating part of your daily life. Keep exploring, stay curious, and watch how your motivation and fluency grow naturally over time. When we really start digging into how to trick our brain into enjoying English practice, we need to go beyond surface-level advice. Let's dive deeper into the psychology and neuroscience of motivation, habit formation, and language acquisition, because understanding these mechanisms allows you to literally reprogram your brain to crave learning and speaking English. One advanced strategy is neuroassociation conditioning, which is about deliberately linking positive emotions to English practice. This goes beyond just rewarding yourself with a snack or music. For example, every time you practice, you can do something that floods your brain with dopamine, like watching a short funny English clip that always makes you laugh, dancing to an English song right after a practice session, or even celebrating your progress verbally. Yes, I did it. This is not childish, it's powerful brain training. Over time, your brain won't just tolerate practice. It will crave it because it subconsciously anticipates that rush of good feelings. Another deeper layer is the progress illusion. Humans love the feeling of moving forward. When learning feels endless and without visible improvement, our brain loses motivation. You can hack this by breaking English into micro milestones. For instance, instead of vaguely trying to speak fluently, focus on mastering 10 useful phrases for ordering food, then celebrate. Next week, 10 phrases for introducing yourself, and so on. You're tricking your brain into feeling rapid progress even though fluency is a long journey. This feeling of frequent success keeps your dopamine system firing and your motivation alive. Let's talk about autonomy, the brain's love for freedom. Many learners lose interest because they feel forced into textbooks or rigid courses. To flip this, give yourself the illusion of choice during practice. Let's say you need to practice speaking. Instead of saying, I must repeat these dialogues, offer your brain options. Do I want to practice speaking by telling a story about my day, or by describing a funny picture? When you give your brain the power to choose, it feels in control and naturally enjoys the process more. One of the most overlooked tricks is emotional anchoring. Think about a time in your life when you felt unstoppable. Maybe you succeeded in a sport, aced an exam, or gave a great presentation. Now, deliberately bring that memory and emotional state into your English practice. Sit or stand the same way you did then, take the same deep confident breaths, maybe even wear a piece of clothing that reminds you of that moment. The brain links states and activities together. If you anchor positive, powerful emotions to English practice repeatedly, your brain begins to associate English with confidence and empowerment instead of fear and failure. Let's go further into mental rehearsal because this ties directly to tricking the brain. Research shows that when you vividly imagine doing something successfully, your brain fires the same neural pathways as if you were actually doing it. You can spend a few minutes each day closing your eyes and imagining yourself in real English conversations, confidently answering questions, laughing naturally, understanding everything. The key is to make the visualization as real as possible. Hear the sounds, feel your body posture, notice the smiles of people around you. The brain doesn't fully distinguish between imagination and reality, so it begins to believe that English conversations are safe and enjoyable, making real-life speaking much easier and less scary. A more advanced psychological lever is self-compassion training. Many learners unknowingly sabotage their brain by beating themselves up over mistakes. This activates the brain's threat response, releasing cortisol and making learning feel painful. To reverse this, practice self-compassion during every session. When you forget a word, instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," reframe it as, "Great, my brain just found a gap, we're about to fill it and get stronger." When your brain feels safe and supported, it opens up, learns faster, and develops positive associations with English. Now, let's talk about novelty, a concept brain scientists emphasize heavily. The brain loves new, unexpected experiences. Doing the same type of English exercise every day leads to boredom, which kills motivation. You can trick your brain by constantly injecting novelty, one day shadowing a podcast, the next mimicking a movie scene, another day role-playing as a hotel receptionist or pretending to be a news anchor in English. The variation excites your brain's reward system and keeps practice feeling fresh and fun, rather than a dull routine. Another layer is gamification. Humans are naturally wired to play games. You can turn English practice into a point-based challenge, earn points for each word learned, level up when you complete speaking challenges, and even give yourself rewards for hitting milestones. Apps do this, but you can design your own fun game in a notebook. This playful element bypasses the feeling of studying and taps into your brain's instinct to seek progress and victory. Finally, consider the deep psychological effect of community and accountability. The brain is wired to bond with others and gain social approval. When you practice English in isolation, motivation often drops because no one notices your progress. But if you share your journey, even just telling a friend, joining a group, or posting about a phrase you learned, your brain links English to social connection and recognition. This not only makes practice more enjoyable but also keeps you consistent because your brain wants to maintain that positive image in front of others. When all these techniques, neuroassociation, micro-successes, autonomy, emotional anchoring, mental rehearsal, self-compassion, novelty, gamification, and community bonding work together, your brain stops seeing English as a stressful task and starts treating it as an enjoyable, rewarding part of life. That's when you know you've successfully hacked your brain's motivational system. At that point, practicing won't feel like work anymore. It'll feel like a natural, exciting part of who you are. And that's where we'll wrap up for today. Remember, the key to truly enjoying English practice isn't about forcing yourself to work harder. It's about learning how to work with your brain, not against it. Start small, apply these techniques, and watch how your mindset toward English slowly transforms. If you found today's episode helpful, please give it a like, drop a comment sharing which brain hack you're excited to try first, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on future tips. I'm Charlotte Kingsley, and this has been the English for Life podcast. Thanks for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next episode where we'll dive even deeper into mastering English the smart way. Until then, keep practicing and keep enjoying the journey.